What's good, y'all? It's Pod.cannion. I'm back with another reaction video. Today, we have a deleted video. This is Running from the Fall. This is Lita's fourth time going at J. Cole. Now, like I said, I got to say this in the beginning because J. Cole fans like to get emotional in the comment section. I have no problem with J. Cole. He is a decent artist. Very, very skilled rapper. You know what I'm saying? My main thing with J. Cole is he likes to act like certain events didn't happen, and that's okay. You can have your own fan fiction within your own world. That's the beauty about music. But it's like you're just not over criticism, and that's the thing. Nobody is, well, he might be, but I'm not like just straight up tearing down J. Cole. It's just I see a little bit of delusion in the air, and I would like to clear up the air a little bit. But with all that being said, you already know this is gonna be a little bit sped up. You know what I'm saying? And if y'all like the video, like it, subscribe if you're new, because all we do is chill over here. With that being said, let's get into it. Sure, go right ahead, but I promise you we won't watch. We enjoyed the music. LOL. 24 track with an hour and 40-minute runtime. Enough to keep you out of the algorithm. These are the J. Cole fans. Dude, what happened to your channel? They deleted the villain. Because he did get rid of most of his videos for some reason. Play J. Cole in the pussy trap. It's about time.
Looking at me like, you rap man. I was like, all right, cool. I was waiting. Like, but really I was nervous. I acted like I wasn't nervous at all though. Like I looked like I was mad confident and destroyed it. It was over from that day forward. Like, I'm a competitor, so I didn't feel good if they passed back the test and somebody got a 95 and I got an 85. I'm gonna feel away. It's like that with rap too. It's the same thing. I'm a natural competitor. So because I think I was so competitive, I don't know how they would feel. You have to talk to them, but I know for myself, I was so competitive early on that like even though we were all friends, I would say we were all friends and friendly. Why would I work out with this nigga? Like I'm trying to destroy this nigga. I'm trying to destroy this nigga. I'm trying to destroy this nigga. No shit. I was doing shit. I had talent. I had belief in myself. I had motion, but at the same time, I also had fear. Fear. Right?
Oh my god, this gotta be his.
I had motion, but at the same time, I also had fear. Fear. Right?
2025, they still moving on some scary shit. 2025, they still moving on some scary shit. God, the grace of Sunday.
This is suicide note. Come here, live it all road. I'm about to kill myself. Fuck J. Cole. I don't even want this role. Wanna rebuild myself.
I'm the villain.
J. Cole is ass cheeks, sweaty, musty ass rapper, mildew bars, mildew legacy, a sit down rapper that doesn't stand up. He sits.
Now remember what I said, y'all. This is not all what I'm saying. So no, bro, y'all be so upset. But hey, stay mad. I don't really care.
Tinkles. Y'all saying he got gas. Yeah, and it ages like a fart. It stinks. Y'all say y'all don't like Drake pretending to be tough. I don't like Cole pretending that he's deep. He fake deep. He ain't got classics. He got dreams. He has intentions and fake morals. He has a street address. He got a zip code in 2014, and that's about it. Shoulda, coulda, woulda ass rapper. How you have elite flows, epic wordplay, but say absolutely nothing? When he does say something, it's a lie. And where the fuck was Jit at? Why wasn't Jit on the album? He doesn't want to be measured. You scared to be put up against another lyricist, but yet overinflates himself. Believes in the version of him that talks, not the one that has to show up. He
I was looking forward to a Jit feature. I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
Just constipated. Verbal diarrhea. You said a lot, but you communicated absolutely nothing. A wannabe ass Mr. Morale. Yeah, I'm a hater. I hate you, gang. This album really moved me. It sedated me, tucked me in, and now this is the nightmare. Matter of fact, where my filter at? Bring the filter back. I want my villain mask back on. All right, let's get serious.
All right, let's get serious.
Running is funny
Coleslaw.
because people only call it wisdom after the hallway is empty. Before that, it's just fear breathing hard from your soul. It's fear pretending that it has direction. I mean, everybody runs, but not everybody runs from the same thing. Some people run from consequences. Some people run from mirrors. Some people run from silence because silence doesn't debate, it diagnoses. J. Cole runs from moments, not symbolism, not narratives, moments where there's no commentary track, when you don't get to explain who you are after, moments where you stand still and the room decides for you, but not Cole. Cole leaves early, right before the pressure becomes permanent, right before the questions stop being optional. He didn't run because he was peaceful. He didn't run because he was mature. He ran because staying would have forced an answer he couldn't revise later. And this isn't about one moment. It's about a pattern repeating itself so cleanly it starts to feel intentional. The exits change, the excuses change, but the movement stays the same. Every time the lights get too bright, he moves. Every time the words he already said come back to be read out loud, he moves. Every time the idea of the best stops being poetic, it starts being measurable, he moves. And that's not his strategy, that's his reflex. This is what happens when somebody builds an identity on being almost tested. When confidence is rehearsed, but pressure is avoided. When greatness is spoken, but never sat with long enough to harden. This isn't a breakdown. This is a horrific observation. A man circling the same fear, convinced motion equals safety. A man mistaking distance as evolution. A man running so often he forgets what he was running from in the first place. And the scariest part, running only works until you get to the edge. And then you start running from the fall. And by the time it's over, there won't be anywhere else left to go. J. Cole is the kind of rapper who wants you to feel bad that he made it. He treats fame like something chasing him down an alley, not something he sprinted towards his whole life. He's always out of breath, always explaining, always acting like success just caught him instead of being something he ran drills for. If you hate fame that much, stop running toward the mic. But he doesn't stop. He keeps jogging towards it, but complaining the whole time about how tired he is. He runs towards the spotlight, then runs from the consequences of standing in it. He runs into success, then sprints away from owning it. He runs laps around his own career, talking about how heavy the crown is, but never...
Yo, he's spitting straight facts right now. Like, I'm kind of interested to like J. Cole fans. If you know what I'm saying. If you couldn't take it anymore, understand. But like, does this sound like delusional? Like, does this sound like a crazy take? And if so, what has he said that wasn't facts? Almost everything, like, from the way that I view J. Cole and the way that I see him, this completely reflects his character. Not the character he projects to be, but the character from who I've seen him be. You know what I'm saying? I feel like J. Cole's a great person, this, that, and the third. Just as far as like this lens when we talk about hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is kind of true that him and Drake, to a certain degree, like, obviously J. Cole's a lot more in the community, but like, to a certain degree, him and Drake aren't that different. Like, I just see him as more of a individual. Like, if Drake was conscious and like actively tried to be conscious or like be perceived as conscious, that is J. Cole. I might be wrong, but hey.
Actually worried. That's why everything about him feels performative. The struggle isn't real. The cardio is. He wants sympathy for a race he signed up for. He wants applause for being exhausted. He wants credit for motion without ever standing still long enough to be counted. And the reason he's always running is simple. If he ever stops, he has to sit with a version of himself that chose this. The version that wanted fame, chased it, caught it, and now pretends it's chasing him. So he keeps moving, not forward, not backward, just running from himself, hoping nobody notices. Notices he's been on the same track the entire time. This was never about bars, never about talent. This was about fear, not the loud kind. The quiet kind that crawls up your spine when you realize you're about to be watched without filters. He didn't step back out of love. He didn't retreat out of wisdom. He ran. He ran because for the first time in his career, his pen wasn't going to be praised in hindsight. It was about to be weighed in real time, measured, judged, and even timed. He didn't trust what it would say about him, so he bolted, fast, desperate, panicked, like someone sprinting from a mirror after the lights turn on, and the reflection doesn't flinch back. Not a villain, not a hero, just a man who slithers between moments and calls it peace. And maybe he foretold this. Maybe he always knew this. The foreshadowing was always there. He's a dreamer that's too afraid to face his own realities, so he dips off, hallucinating his own narratives that his fans allows him to, and turns them into his truths. But really, he's only running from the edge. The coolest part of a fall isn't the landing. It's the pause. The suspended second when you realize you were supposed to stay. He didn't just plan an ending, he baptized it. The fall off was never meant to happen. It was always supposed to be ironic. The irony, a joke whispered ahead of time, a controlled laugh at decline before the
Literally. And then he tried to, I've said this in other videos, but it seemed like he tried to take control of it in the moment, but that only highlights it. It only makes people anticipate it even more. And
mind could laugh first.
My name in the album Fall Off is pretty ironic and say they don't fall off for me. That shit don't sit right with my spirit. That shit make me feel.
I fell off, but read the subtext and survived it. Still relevant, still sacred, still untouchable. The title alone was supposed to mock the idea of failure, not invited inside. And that's where the escape becomes the identity, because the repetition will tell the truth, and the pattern obviously becomes intentional. The smile can only linger for so long, because he named it long before the door creaked open, before the pressure, before the test, before the moment that demanded he stop narrating greatness and stand on it. He didn't fall because the culture forgot him. He fell because when the culture finally leaned in close, he left the room. That exit didn't rewrite the story.
y'all have heard, like, just before I lose it, because I know it's going a little bit faster, he no longer narrated greatness. He had to stand on it. He had to prove it in real time. Damn.
It embalmed it. That's what running from the fall really is. The beef wasn't chaos. It wasn't noise. It wasn't distraction. It was his final threshold between being admired and being undeniable. Not a trap. It was a trial. And instead of letting the drop carve him into something permanent, instead of risking the meaning behind the title, he opted out. That choice didn't preserve the album. It poisoned it. Because now the fall off doesn't sound ironic. It sounds very accurate. A title meant to laugh at irrelevance became a timestamp for when momentum stopped answering back. He spent years sharpening the blade, warning the room, selling readiness like it's prophecy.
You niggas might be L, or you might be Kane, or you might be Slick Rick with 19 chains, or you might be Drizzy Drake or Kendrick Lamar. But check the birthday, nigga. You ain't the guy.
People would love that line.
Code the guy.
Code the God. Code the God.
Experience Japan on a journey customized to you.
Code the God.
Explore.
January 28th.
Then Destiny arrived unannounced, and the exit happened so fast that the myth didn't have time to bleed. That's why this fall feels wrong. A fall requires courage. It requires staying long enough for gravity to finish the sentence. It means trusting that even the impact will matter. You see, what happened wasn't a fall at all. It was a retreat, and no amount of long-term planning saves you from that contradiction. You don't spend a decade rehearsing decline as art and then scream when it steps out of the dark. The beef didn't end him. It ended the illusion that he couldn't be touched, not because he lost, but because he refused to be measured when the ruler finally slid across the table.
Yes.
Greatness isn't winning every time. It's being present when the outcome isn't safe. He had the bars, he had the respect, he had the moment, and instead of letting the drop shape him, he stepped back from the edge. He hesitated, turned around, and that's why the moment didn't crash. It evaporated quietly. Like a crowd realizing the headliner already slipped out of the side door. The fall off is here, and people are already bracing for it, like it's supposed to mean something final. As if the title alone absolves everything. The bars will be there. It might even sound great. It could be one of the hardest albums he's ever made, and it still won't matter. Because no matter how polished it is, it will never be a heavyweight album. Not because of the music, but because of the way he arrived at it. You don't get to spend years preaching virtue, crowning yourself the best, positioning yourself above the mess, then sprint away from the one moment that would have given those words weight. After that, every bar hit.
Yeah, like, there were some very solid songs on the fall off. Very solid. It's just, like he said, a lot of the stuff that he was saying is like, only can take it with, like, only can take him so serious, bro. And that's kind of the way that I had to view the tape, you know what I'm saying? Especially, like, with people being like, oh, this is starting at 29, and then it goes on to 39, this, that, and the third. Cool little side, you know what I'm saying, concept because you've been sitting with this tape for so long. But even still, it's like, it's true, like, when people see you in real life, like, you, in the way that you interact when, like, your time is there, the way that, the weight of your words is carried different based off of whether or not you show up when it's your time to show out.
Different. Every claim sounds hollow.
You know
Every moment of confidence reads like compensation. It doesn't feel triumphant. It feels sad. It feels miserable. Because now when he says I'm the best, it doesn't sound like belief. It sounds like reassurance. Like he's trying to convince himself after the fact. If he had never moralized, if he had never postured, if he had never built his identity around being above it all, none of this would even matter. But that's all he does. That's all he's ever done. And here's the deeper problem. He's been running for so long, he doesn't even recognize the direction anymore. Running from accountability, running from identity, running from stillness. So much running that he starts tripping over the footprints of the very people he's obsessed with surpassing. He says he's his own man.
That shit is
the
hilarious.
poses shift.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And
Just
still
the
is
both
so
of
much
the
running
emotes
that he
was
starts tripping over
hilarious.
the footprints of the very people he's obsessed with surpassing. He says he's his own man, but look closer. The poses shift, the aesthetics drift, and the titles echo. Birthday Blizzard doesn't sound like an invention. It sounds like an invitation dressed up as coincidence. Birthday was important for Kendrick Lamar's GNX. 1987 was the year that GNX was created. The one model, the hidden message. Blizzard sounds like another word for Iceman. Drake, his alter ego. That's what happens when someone loses their center. They stop becoming themselves and start orbiting what they envy. Cole doesn't just admire them, he studies them, mirrors them, chases them, but then pretends he's above the comparison while recreating it beat by beat. He wants to outdo them so badly that he keeps dissolving into them. And the more he runs from his own identity, the more obvious it becomes that he never fully had one to stand on. And that's the real fall. Not the album, not the numbers, not the reception. It's watching a man move so fast trying to escape himself that he ends up becoming a collage of everybody else and calling it progression. So now the final album isn't a joke. It's a mirror. A project meant to laugh at falling. Released by someone who ran from the one moment that would have proved he never could. The fall didn't take him. He saw it coming and chose flight. He doesn't confront conflict. Nah. He waits for it to get tired. His real trick was humanity on layaway. He never sold dominance, never danger. He sold comfort, relatability dressed up as virtue. I'm just like you. I hate fame. I'm humble. That works when the room is quiet.
Just know if I diss you, I make sure you know that I hit you like I'm on your...
It used to be fuck that nigga, but now it's plural.
These niggas talking out of their necks, put no coughing out of your mouth. I'm way too paranoid for a threat.
He thought this was ceremonial, a nod, a handshake, praise, not pressure.
First shit was classic, your last shit was tragic. Your second shit put niggas to sleep, but they gassed it.
Instead, the reaction was surgical.
He high on it, so I got it. Now he wants something with me.
That's it. Why does it sound scared? Why does this feel unfinished?
If he wasn't dissing, then we wouldn't be discussing. If he wasn't dissing, if he wasn't dissing, if he wasn't dissing, if he wasn't dissing.
The diss didn't explode, it lingered, and that terrified him.
Y'all love Kendrick Lamar, correct? As do I.
Because he wasn't going to let himself be destroyed. He was about to be examined. And to him, that's worse. And that's exactly why he leans on the fall off now. Not because it completes anything, but because it gives him somewhere else to hide. Yeah, the title was planned years ago. That's the problem. A pre-written excuse he can limp on after the stumble actually happened. He lost the respect from hip-hop heads. He lost respect from rap fans. He lost respect from other rappers. I mean, yeah, the bars are there. The delivery is there, but the spine isn't. He didn't stand on the one moment that mattered. So now it all sounds like noise.
Hear that again. The bars are there. The delivery is there. But the spine isn't. When it was time for you to stand on it, you
All of
didn't.
well-crafted sentences with no consequences behind them. It's the same disease Drake has when he plays My Boss, talking tough while everybody knows it's cosplay. With Cole, it's worse. He didn't just fake toughness. He ran from the test and sprinted straight into the fall-off like it was shelter. And once you see that, the lyrics stop landing because it's hard to take words seriously when you know they're weightless. And white noise doesn't inspire. It just fills the silence. Because you can't build legacy off of white noise. It just hides what's missing. And J. Cole's backbone was missing when it came to Kendrick Lamar. When it was time to step up. The fall off isn't going to change that. That album doesn't do anything, but just solidifies that what we all already knew, that J. Cole could rap. All that I'm the best talk starts sounding like self-soothing, like a man whispering affirmations into a mirror, hoping the reflection forgets what just happened. That's what this is. The fall off is his inner voice clawing its way back to the surface, trying to convince everybody, everyone, including
Even
himself,
himself.
that the mistake wasn't fatal.
Yep.
He knows. Every rapper knows. His fans know.
We
We
all
all
know.
know. If you spend
Oh
your
my
whole career
gosh.
saying you'll show up when it counts,
bro.
and then you don't get to ask the audience to forget just because a new album dropped. The fall off isn't
And it's like once you see it, once you acknowledge it, it's just so hard to unsee it. It just becomes so painfully obvious.
closure.
That's why it's like
It's the place he ran to so he wouldn't have to answer for the moment he didn't stand on it. Cameron suing J. Cole over Ready 24 isn't some random hiccup. It's a pattern finally catching a paper trail.
Being a man is keeping your word. And I know everybody's busy and everybody has things to do and so on and so forth. But if I give you my word 4 or 5 times, I got to do it out of the one time out of 4 or 5 times.
Exactly.
So on his first project he did, I did an intro for him. He needed it within 24 hours. I told him I may need a verse whenever I get a project done. But he called me one day like, yo, I'm just letting you know Monday I'm putting that song out. And I'm like, I need a verse. You know, the moon got aligned with the stars. And, you know, when I write, I put my all into it. He called me twice to do something. And I did it. One day you have 48 hours to do it. Then I said, you know what? Forget the record. Let's do an interview. Nah, I can't do it because I can't do it now because the shit is going on with Kendrick Lamar and all that. And I don't feel like talking about that right now. I said, look, I'll do the interview. I won't even bring that up.
Exactly.
I won't even talk about that. He says, nah, I can't do no interview and not talk about it. You can't keep telling me this.
Bro.
Now, I said, listen, I need your word, bro. You already gave me your word 3, 4 times. I need your word. When are you going to do this interview? There was something to say, yo, bro, I'm about to keep it real with you. I can't do it. I don't know when the album will be done. And I say, I can't promise you a date, but I can do the date. I'm going to just have to say I might have to pass for that. You tell me how, when I try to kill everybody while I'm on the record. It'll take me 3 weeks to write around. All right, that's fine. Let's just do the interview. You string me along for a year for that. Then finally tell me after a year, after you gave me your word 4 times, that the last time, I'm just not going to be able to do it.
Cole takes the verse,
Yeah.
takes the moment, releases the record, and slips into that familiar fog where accountability goes to die. No clear payment, no proper credit, just silence dressed up as busy.
Yeah,
And that's
that's
not
that whack
confusion
shit.
at all. That's evasion. The nastiest part is
That's
how
just me as an artist. I hate working with niggas like that. Like you said, giving you a word and you not locking in on something, you having all this, that, and the fourth excuses. Oh my gosh. I especially hate working with artists where like you have a verse and you can't send me that shit within a week. You're saying that's just gonna take 3 weeks because you gotta come for everybody? Nigga, shut the, like, oh my gosh, bro. It should, like, bro, I that just screams bullshit for me. Because I can make a whole tape in a day. So if you just take some time aside and make the fucking verse, especially if he already did you a solid, like, oh my gosh, just as an artist, that shit is so fucking whack. Like,
keeps getting away with this shiesty shit, the disingenuous behavior, because he raps it in humility cosplay. He did it to Wale, and we'll get to that. But let's focus on what he did to
he
Kendrick
did
Lamar,
do that
trading
to
subs,
Wale.
and getting outed during the beef, then immediately acting oblivious and apologetic, like he didn't know what time it was. And now it's Cameron. It's the same script. Promises made, promises avoided, exit taken. This isn't morality. This isn't nobility. This is
like, no, and this is just becoming even more painfully obvious. He said, promises made, promises taken, and then the exit, he just leaves. He just, like, oh my fucking God.
It was. And now it's Cameron. It's the same script. Promises made, promises avoided, exit taken. This isn't morality. This isn't nobility. This is a snake who moves quietly and calls it growth. Cole doesn't stand on conflict, and he doesn't stand on his word. He agrees when it's convenient, vanishes when it's time to deliver, then reframes the disappearance as wisdom. That's his real superpower. Not the bars, not introspection.
Do y'all hear this nigga, bro? Because that's the same thing where I'm just like, yo, y'all are delusional, bro. All of this shit that I clearly see for what it is, y'all be like, no, he's just above that. He's just too smart. It's like, no, that's fucking bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. And you know it. Or maybe you don't know it. But it's like, when you see it, it's hard to unsee it. It becomes painfully obvious. And it makes me question y'all's, like, actual, like, what's the word I'm trying to say? Like how serious y'all are like are y'all fucking with me? Are y'all rage baiting me, bro? When y'all do that? I'm sorry. It's just y'all J. Cole fans really do it sometimes. Like,
Slipping
oh
out
my
of
God.
moments before they can define him. Different names, same behavior. He's not misunderstood. He's just consistent. And he can never stand on anything. Not even his own word. Every bond is conditional. Every condition benefits him. But yeah, he calls it growth. But really, he's just ducking it at the source. Middle school bars. The apology wasn't moral. It was just instinct. Strip the story. That apology wasn't brotherhood at all. It was just a survival reflex. He fired the shots. checked the temperature, and realized he didn't believe in himself enough to keep pulling that trigger. So he reframed fear as clarity, and that's a pattern. He doesn't lose, he withdraws. But then he goes and renames that withdrawal as maturity, as being the bigger person. But that isn't maturity at all. He just panicked. You don't apologize, declare peace, then sneak this later. That's how you know it was disingenuous.
Come on,
that
bro.
apology wasn't conviction at all. It was a delay. He wanted distance from the fire, but still wanted to feel warm. If you're above it, leave it. If you're in it, bleed in it. But he always wants the credit of peace with the ego of conflict. You need to choose. Because it seems like he loves mirrors until they start talking back to him. This was never one moment. This is the loop. Talk bold, feel heat, reverse. Rename it reflection. Every era. That's why his music circles instead of lands. Because landing requires commitment, and commitment means risk. And here's the cold autopsy. He envies one man's dominance and another man's respect. One moves numbers without permission. The other moves culture without explanation. Cole wants both, but not the blood cost. So he floats in between, calling it balance. But that's not poetry, easy. That's his diagnosis. The safety net. Because the fall off isn't confidence at all. It's just pre-coping. If it wins, legacy, classic. If it falls, well, that was the point. Only someone afraid of losing.
Like, oh my gosh, like.
And the worst part, none of the apologies matter because regret doesn't reverse time. Explanation doesn't erase X's. This moment is branded into the record forever. Yeah, you can circle back. He can re-enter. He can even try again, but it already happened. When the lights come on, he left that stage. That's the legacy. It's not stolen from him, not taken. He forfeited. He didn't fall. He ran. And now he's selling the sprint as wisdom. And the people are eating it alive. That's fear finally admitting it never wanted to be seen. He's treating the fall off like a reset button. He keeps calling it his last album, but then makes sure to say that he intended it to be. Heavy on that word intended. And that's the tell. Because intended doesn't mean final. It means flexible. It means reversible. It means backpedaling. It means he's already leaving himself and out like he always does. This may not be a farewell, because it seems like it might be a sales pitch. The last album gimmick is just to bait spike numbers, stir urgency, make people tune in thinking they're witnessing an ending. But he's not done, because he never stands on anything long enough to be done. That's his pattern. You already know he's gonna backpedal. He reframes,
And like, don't get me wrong, y'all. Like, I've always liked the artistry, but like, this is the first J. Cole tape that like I love listening to music albums. I like getting that like first listening experience with a tape. This was the first one, like the first J. Cole tape, where I had to take breaks and like come back to it another day. Like, there was just certain times where I was just like, dang. And granted, this is also his longest tape, I believe. So there is also just, anytime you see it, just a big body of work, it's a little intimidating, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, dang, I need to put time aside. And like, of course, to a J. Cole fan, you're like, oh yes, an hour and 40 minutes of J. Cole just rapping back to back to back. But me, as a Kendrick fan, I'm like, oh man, I have to listen to an hour and 40 minutes of J. Cole, and hopefully, if I'm lucky, I will genuinely enjoy 30 minutes of it. I enjoyed a good 25. Like, if y'all want to review, I'll do that. But, you know, I just, everything he's saying, like, is something that, like, passed through my thoughts. I was like, he's saying he's intending, but that doesn't mean he's done. He might drop in 5 years. Or the highlight on solo Cole album, saying, like, he might do, like, maybe a collaboration or something in the future. Which, I mean, like, I guess, you know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do. But this is supposed to be the last Cole album, so I fought through it. But it shouldn't have to be something I fight through. I should want to play every single song, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least the first listen, like, I want to be excited for what's next. But, you know.
This won't be his last album because he never committed to a single version of himself for more than a moment. And this rollout isn't brave, it's calculated. At this point, the fall off really is a reset button. I mean, Cole tells you himself.
Suicide note, come here, look what I wrote. I'm about to kill myself. Fuck J. Cole. I don't even want this role. Wanna rebuild myself. Wanna rebuild myself. Wanna rebuild myself.
Yep.
Look, I know AI can be super weird. Ew, gross. But some AI is amazing.
Shut up.
Bars hit at a restart. The visuals rewind time. The reverse video isn't just art, it's a metaphor. He's literally trying to walk it backwards into a new version of himself. You have to realize that the word intended is a loophole word. It means the exit is stayed.
Because even, like, he could talk about, I think it was in Birthday Blizzard. Did he try to say, like, oh yeah, I fell off on purpose just so I could come back to the top and show y'all again that I'm like that. And it's just like, I mean, I guess, bro, like, that's just fan fiction to us who, bro, like, it's not that easy to fool us, bro.
Not sealed. A door left cracked open. A getaway planned in advance. What he's really saying is that version of J. Cole is over. Not because it's finished, but because it failed. So he resets, rebrands, reframes. But no amount of rewind changes that moment when he apologized and backpedaled out of the biggest test of his career. However, he didn't outrun the fall. He just hit reset before he had to feel it. It leans on people believing he's walking away, so they forget how he actually moves. The slick exits, the disingenuous apologies, the moral high ground cosplay, the sneaky retreat dressed up as growth. This isn't closure, it's a memory wipe. A Men in Black flash. Look right here. Forget the last few years. Forget the running. Forget who he showed you he was when pressure arrived. A lot of people...
Yo, I swear that's how... I'm sorry, y'all. J. Cole fans. You're probably long gone from this video. But that is how J. Cole was treating y'all with these singles after that shit. He was literally trying to act like, no, we're going to act like none of that happened the way that it happened. I'm going to tell you the way you need to now believe that it happened. And now it's going to be facts for all J. Cole fans. And that's what happened for y'all, bro. Like, oh my gosh.
Fall for it, because they always do. But not everybody. Some of us can see the trick while it's happening.
Yeah.
Look at him closely. Not as a rapper, not as a brand, but as a patient pacing in his own mind. Every move he makes is self-preservation, dressed up as virtue. Every retreat is narrated like enlightenment. Every contradiction gets softened.
I had these fake morals.
And a sad chord, so the crowd feels bad questioning it. That's his sickness. It may not be fear, but control. He doesn't want to win. He wants to never be cornered. This is what running from the fall really is. Not a moment, a condition. He runs before reality can touch him. He reframes before truth can settle. He exits before the mirror can speak. And when the wound starts asking real questions, not about his vibes, but about intentions, but about who you actually are under pressure, he collapses into humility cosplay and lets his audience do the comforting for him. That's manipulation. Soft.
These words he be saying, like the humility cosplay is like, I need to add that to my arsenal, because that's literally what that was, bro. Humility cosplay. I wish some of y'all would, bro. Like he really had them niggas fooled, bro. Like fuck.
But still manipulation. He wants sympathy, not scrutiny. He wants applause, handshakes, and claps for self-awareness instead of accountability. He wants to be seen as deep, so no one checks if he's solid. And the scariest part is that it works. He's trained people to mistake reflection for responsibility and calmness as courage. But you can't therapize your way out of a moment that you refuse to stand in. You can't philosophize your way past the test you walked away from. And you definitely can't keep calling it growth and maturity when the pattern never changes. Running from the fall doesn't make you wise. It makes you untouched. But an untouched legacy doesn't age. They rot quietly. So this isn't hate. Not really. It's a diagnosis.
Not really.
And the fall didn't miss him. It's just waiting for him to stop narrating long enough to catch up. You can't fall without an impact. And he was too afraid to make one. And what comes next won't be about
gosh.
It'll be about what was fake.
I'm sorry. I gotta run that back. That was another bar. Like,
and the fall didn't miss him. It's just waiting for him to stop narrating long enough to catch up. You can't fall without an impact. And he was too afraid to make one. And what comes next won't be about running anymore. It'll be about what was fake the entire time.
That was a good video. Damn. That nigga was spitting straight facts. Holy shit. Humility cosplay. J. Cole fans. It's okay. J. Cole's music is still J. Cole's music. It's just the reality. Like when you wake up to reality, it'll be okay. It'll. I know you got to be a little bit delusional to like enjoy J. Cole's music at the level that you're enjoying it at. J. Cole's music is good. It's good. Don't get me wrong about that at all. But him as an artist, a hip hop artist, as a really a human being, he kind of broke him down like shit. But like really, y'all already know, bro. If y'all like the video, yo, that was cool. Was that a little ghosty ghost? Oh, it was just a little thing. That's cool though. If y'all like the video, like it, subscribe if you're new. All we do is chill over here. With that being said, y'all be great, be safe, keep getting to that bag. I'm gonna catch you on the next video. Peace.